Hey, Warrior Nation, it's Miss Hoofnagel here. I am getting ready to go over some awesome news for today. Today, you're taking the math map. Yay! I know you're really not saying yay. You're probably going, oh, but it's okay. It's really important that you do your very, very best on this test and the reading test next Wednesday after spring break, because it gives us data that we need to figure out if you are where you need to be. If you're not, then we can provide those extra supports for you. So if you do the test and you just like click, and just get it finished, then it's going to provide that bad, like not so good data for us. And then we're going to be like, do you need extra help in this? And you might not need it. And so you're going to get stuck doing extra stuff that you really don't need to do. And it's just, ugh. So do your best. Math today, and then reading when we come back after spring break next week. Okay, some test taking strategies. Super, super easy. Number one, do your best. One of my favorite quotes that I remind students of as much as I can, and myself, don't stop until you're proud. Okay, so not click. That doesn't make you proud. Okay, that's just no. Okay, number two, follow the directions by the teacher and by map. Your day will go by so much smoother if you just follow directions. Make sure you read everything. Make sure you're listening to everything. Okay, that's number two. Number three, read the question and all of the answers before marking your choice. Even if you know that the answer is C, still read D, just in case there's something a little tricky or fishy. Okay. Number four, use your time wisely. So don't spend too much time on one question. If you don't know it, make a best guess and move on. Answer every question and review your answers before you submit. Number five, eliminate questions that are wrong. Okay, if you know that B is not right, mark it off in your brain. Okay, so it's really important that you eliminate those questions, because the more you can eliminate, the higher chances of you getting that question correct. Number six, use scratch paper. Use it all the time. Like I have scratch paper everywhere. I've got, look, this is my scratch paper for my notes today, doing this. Number eight, when appropriate, read the question first. This especially is awesome. An awesome test taking strategy when you are reading big, long passages. If you read the questions first and you can go back to the passage, it's really, really helpful when you are taking a test. Number eight, be positive. Use self-talk that I talked to you all about last week or the week before. Tell yourself that you're awesome. Tell yourself you've got this, because you do. Number nine, breathe. Sometimes we forget to breathe. It's really, really important for two reasons. Number one, taking deep breaths really oxygenates our brain and keeps us going. and keeps all that oxygen flowing in your brain to keep your brain working. And number two, it also helps us relax to make sure that we have a good mindset. So don't get panicky, just breathe. Finally, last but not least, when you are finished, quietly you can work on makeup work, you can do current work, or you can find something quiet to do. Please be courteous of others as they are finishing. It's going to be kind of a long day. It's kind of going to be like K-prep in a sense that it's going to be long and quiet, but give everybody that quietness that you got while you were taking your test. Guys, do your best. So proud of you. Can't wait to see these scores.
And now it's time for the Warriors of the Week. The Maya Warriors of the Week were Luis Coutinho Guisar, Jamarian Griffin, and Amaya Kane. The Night Students of the Week were Patience McDermott, Ashley Resendiz Guzman, and Darren Minifield. And the Hogwarts Students of the Week were Malia Fluker, Catherine Zhang, Henry Shevs, and Lucille Montague. Congratulations, everybody.
How are you today, Ms. McCall?
I am wonderful, Jarrell. Thank you so much for taking time to talk to me.
Thank you for taking the time out also. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this interview. First question is, do you have any official connection to NASA?
I do not have an official connection to NASA, although that would be a dream of mine. But I often connect with the NASA STEM education department to bring opportunities to my students. And I do work officially as a volunteer for the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California, as a solar system ambassador, which means I bring space education to the community. And that might be through our school, through local libraries, or through other community events all through the year.
Sounds like a very, very fun volunteering job.
It is, and it also gives me access. Every month they have webinars that are directly led by NASA engineers and experts in the field of space.
That's great.
So I get this front row seat to learn all about current missions.
That's really great. Our next question is, what is the project you have been working on in your class?
Well, this year I had an incredible opportunity. I moved here from the state of Wisconsin in the summer of 2020, late in the summer. And right before I moved, the Wisconsin Space Grant Consortium had selected me as an embedded teacher, which means they wanted me to go on an actual research expedition with their microgravity team. It's a team of college students that has an experiment that they want to see how it performs under zero gravity. And the experiment that they are working on is how to refuel a spacecraft in space. Because when you don't have gravity, liquids don't flow. You may have seen the videos where you watch astronauts playing with like liquid water in space and how it just falls up. So when you think about trying to refuel something, because they're building a station right now, this is the plan to build a station that's going to orbit the moon, and that will be a station that will be a stopping point for astronauts on their way eventually to Mars. But we have to figure out a way to refuel in space. So this team that I was partnering with, they built an actual tank, and it's able to actually gauge how much liquid is being transferred from one tank to another. And the way they test it is they fly on a parabolic flight. If you think about driving on a Kentucky road, when you're driving kind of fast and you go up over a hill, that little feeling of weightlessness that you get for just a few seconds, they do that in the plane. The plane flies in parabolas, and at the top of every parabola, you get 22 seconds of microgravity. So they asked me to go along for the ride, and they asked Winburn students to submit questions that we would answer on the flight. And the three questions that we answered were, can you swim in space? And that was from Ashley Hernandez Ramos. That was from Angelique Flores. Does food float in your stomach? That was from Ashley Hernandez Ramos. And then, how do carbon carbonated fluids act in space was the third question from Cody Decker. So we did these experiments on the flight in November of 2020, and then now with students coming back to school, they get to do the same experiments in the classroom, and we're going to compare the video from my trip to what the students see happening in the classroom. And I was nervous about this trip because I'm very prone to getting sick when I get nauseous, and it actually worked out really well. I made it through 17 parabolas
17
before I eventually did get sick. But there were only 22 parabolas total. And they say normally people, if they're going to get sick long before that. So I was super grateful. And I can officially say I am a card-carrying member of the Vomit Comet, which is what they call the parabolic flight that I flew on through the Zero G Corporation.
And our last question is there anything that excites you that is coming in the near future?
I have a very exciting announcement, and it's partly because I work at the Fayette County Public School District now. I was able to apply to become an airborne astronomy ambassador. And that means my next year's students are going to get to study lessons on the electromagnetic spectrum, and we're going to get the materials for them to do other labs in class. And I will get to fly on the SOFIA Airborne Astronomy. That's the Stratospheric Observatory for Infrared Astronomy, which is basically a Boeing 747 that has a reflecting telescope in it. And we're going to learn all about how the visible light that we see is a very, very tiny part of all of the electromagnetic spectrum and the electromagnetic data that we can collect from the universe. And by studying all the electromagnetic spectrum, we learn more and more about how the universe came into being.
Thank you for taking out the time to answer these questions, Ms. McCall.
Thank you so much for taking your time to talk with me. I really enjoyed this drill.
Don't forget to register in this week's links for virtual ESS tutoring. This is happening on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5 to 6:30 p.m. There you can get homework help, peer tutors, and of course those awesome snack bags. Don't forget that we also are going to be having in-person ESS after spring break from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. In order to stay, you must complete an in-person ESS request form. You can't stay otherwise, but we definitely want to help you out. So again, students must register and be approved to stay for ESS. Parents and guardians must arrange transportation to pick you up by 5:30 p.m. And in order to stay for ESS, you must participate every Tuesday and every Thursday, unless of course you have an excused absence. And like always, students must follow classroom procedures. So we want to help you out. So register for in-person ESS today. And we still have those awesome Winburn Middle School Together We Rise shirts. Just $10. We'll get you a shirt that is extra small through large. We have plenty of sizes left over. Please see Mrs. Gonzalez or Mr. Gonzalez in the hallways, and we'll be happy to hook you up.
Hello, Warriors. We want to hear your thoughts. Each week, we'll be asking for your opinion on a variety of topics. Respond on the Flipgrid in this week's links, and you could be featured on the next Winburn News. The question of the week is:
Want to share what you did over spring break? Show us your pictures. Did you go to the beach, the mall, the park? We want to see it all. There will be a link to the Google form with your first period teacher.
Hello, Winburn Warriors. This is Mr. Jones here. You have a great opportunity to acknowledge those staff members and community partners who are making a positive difference in your life. This award is called the Be Positive Award. So there will be a link on the Canvas pages for you to nominate a staff member who's been really great, who's been really awesome to you this year. This has been a tough year for everyone, and now you have the chance to show your gratitude. Maybe there's a teacher who's gone above and beyond. Maybe there's a front office worker who's gone above and beyond, who really went the extra mile to support you. There may be a community partner who's reached out to you and helped you and your family. Whoever it is, it's always important to show our gratitude. So as people are nominated, they will each get one of these wonderful cards to hang on their door, and they will get their name on the Be Positive Beehive in the front hallway. It's pretty cool. So again, let's take some time to acknowledge those staff members who are really making a difference. Give them a shout out. Give them a shout out. Help them feel appreciated. We love you, and I'm looking forward to all the great things you have to say about the Winburn staff.
Hi there.
Hi.
What's your name?
Kaylee.
What grade are you in?
6.
What's the best thing about being back in school?
That I get to see my friends.
What's the worst things?
That I can't take off my mask.
Peanut butter or jelly?
Jelly.
What's the best kind of jelly?
Grape.
You're wrong. Actually, that's pretty alright. If you could race any teacher you wanted on foot, like a foot race, 100 yards, who would it be?
Mr. Gonzalez.
Mr. Gonzalez would smoke you. Want to say anything to your friends?
Hi. Hi, Janelle.